What is going on, guys? The 2013 NFL draft class is in the books. So I'm not going to do what I did last year. I'm not going to, give an entire video for each division on draft grades. I'm just going to go in on some of the teams I liked, some of the teams I didn't like. So let's get right to it. Obviously, the Green Bay Packers had a phenomenal draft. They bring in a defensive lineman that they need, huge depth there in Dayton Jones. You have running backs in Eddie Lacy and Jonathan Franklin, highly touted running backs at that. So that was much needed there. Offensive line, David Bakhtiari, J.C. Treader, more depth there. I think it was a great draft overall for the Packers. The entire NFC West division hit it on the head, I think. Besides one draft selection in Tyrann Manti to the Cardinals in the 3rd round, I think Manti should have been at the earliest a 4th rounder, 3rd round draft selection of the Cardinals there. Other than that, the Rams did a great job. The Niners did a great job. The Seahawks did a great job. I think the Cardinals did a good job as well. So the entire NFC West division there. The Ravens. I think the Ravens, in my opinion, one of the best drafts out of all 32 teams. They go with Matt Elam, who I really love. Physical safety out of Florida. They go with Arthur Brown, outside linebacker out of Kansas State. Really liked Arthur Brown there. And then 3rd round defensive tackle Brandon Williams out of Missouri Southern. Really liked Brandon Williams. I thought he was a well-spoken guy, can really play the nose tackle spot, and I think he's going to be a great plug-in behind Haloti Ngata. So look for Brandon Williams there. The Bengals, I think, did a fairly solid job. They went out, they addressed the tight end position. I think they're going to have, a two-headed monster there in Jermaine Gresham and now Tyler Eifert. You're going to have Giovanni Bernard coming in to play at running back. Margus Hunt was an additional 2nd-round selection who's going to be great. So I think the Bengals did good early. Chargers as well. I thought had 3 first-round guys in DJ Fluker at offensive tackle. You had in the 2nd round Manti Te'o come in at inside linebacker and Keenan Allen at wide receiver out of Cal. I think all 3 of those guys are going to be solid plug-ins on their team. Notable mentions, you got the Giants. They had Justin Pugh at offensive guard, Jonathan Hankins at nose tackle, DeMontre Moore, who once upon a time everyone was talking about him as a top 5 pick. He went in the 3rd round. Ryan Nassib to possibly back up Eli Manning. I like the Giants draft picks there. The Eagles, I thought Matt Barkley was a solid draft selection, even though they traded up for him in the 4th round. Barkley in the 4th could be a steal. He could be the starting quarterback in the next few years for the Eagles. Jordan Poyer in the 7th round at cornerback was also a steal in my opinion. Teams I didn't like. I have 5 teams written down. The Cowboys, I thought Travis Frederick was a reach at center. I didn't think he was going to go that high. A guy that I did like, though, for the Cowboys was Terrence Williams in the 3rd round out of Baylor at wide receiver. Really liked him. We'll see how they, implement him into the receiving corps. The Redskins, the only reason I'm mentioning the Redskins, nothing really stood out to me in their draft class. Just, I looked at everybody they had. I just didn't really, I wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't appealing to me. The Jets, another draft class. You get rid of Revis, even though he's going to have, he's asking for money, going to get paid. You bring in, D. Milner there. Sheldon Richardson at D-tackle. I wasn't a huge fan of Richardson. Now you're addressing another 1st-round selection in a defensive lineman. The previous years you've got Muhammad Wilkerson, Quentin Coples. Now you got Richardson. I don't know. Just not a huge fan of the Jets draft class. The Bills and E.J. Manuel was a huge reach in my opinion. I thought Geno Smith should have been the first quarterback taken even though I'm not a huge fan of Geno Smith's game. A lot of quarterbacks I didn't like in this draft class. Obviously, last year's draft class puts this draft class to shame with the quarterback position in Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson, RG3. The last team is the Colts. I think I have their draft class over here. The Colts, Bjorn Werner was their 1st-round guy at defensive end. I was not a fan of him at all. They go with Hugh Thornton in the 3rd round at offensive guard, Khaled Holmes at center in the 4th round. Just another one of those draft classes that really just didn't stand out to me. I wasn't a huge fan of what the Colts did, but those are some of the teams I liked, some of the teams I didn't like. I want to know what you guys think about the same thing. Who are the teams you really liked? Who are the teams you really did not like? and throw all that stuff down in the comments below. Again, you guys can catch me on Facebook, you guys can catch me on Twitter. Links are down below in the description. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'm out.